thought we were sloppy in certain areas, and we were explosive at times on offense, and I would like to think we will have some more guys available when we get to the Jamboree. When we get to week 1, we held out Isaiah Baham, a couple guys who were part of our big run last year, but obviously made the plays that he's used to making. I was happy with our defense except for one drive. So all in all, a lot to work on, but a lot to be proud of.
I told Mike White, for the most part, it seemed like your secondary tackled really well in space. So when they were able to complete some passes, y'all put an end to it pretty quickly. They were around pretty well.
We're inexperienced there. We switched Mike in week 9 last year, and he was part of the big run that we had when we moved him to cornerback. And now he's double duty. He's offense and he's defense. And having him, Dylan Henry is going to play a big role for us. We got a number of guys that are fighting for positions like Tamaz and Dylan Galley, Trent Holiday, Cooper Reese. They made some mistakes, but I liked our effort. I liked where we were getting to the ball, and I thought for the most part with our older guys we did tackle well.
When y'all did well in the live portion part of the scrimmage, I think better than in the control. Did you sort of grow into this, or how did you feel like that progression went?
Well, I think obviously when we did hold 3 or 4 of our guys from the control portion, right, we were only going to play them in the scrimmage portion. We also need to see what those younger guys can do. And it's easier to do that when you don't have to worry about special teams. You got a certain number of plays, you can set your rotations. But yeah, obviously when we played some of the guys who had more experience in the live portion, we had better results.
What did you see from some of your younger players in the control system? What do you think they did right and what do you think they did wrong?
Well, the biggest thing is Jesuit does a really good job of tempo, especially when they have a positive play. And us, they got our older guys on one drive where we just couldn't catch up to their tempo. But I thought for the most part, being able to line up, play against tempo, make our adjustments to the formations and stuff like that, understand what we're trying to accomplish in the play call, and knowing that the young guys can do that, so now they're not thinking and they're just running around and making plays.
Is that something that might come up later on in the season with another team that might be a tempo like that, or?
Well, look, if we play Airline again in the playoffs, that's for sure. But yeah, look, I would assume that there's times where in the past, when we were at Lakeshore playing against Salmon played with tempo. North Shore with Coach Sanders, every now and then they jump into a tempo package. So it's something you need to be prepared for. And then really the other big thing is as you get attrition and injuries during the year, those guys have to step in and play. That they're the next man up.
When you look back at that playoff run last year, how much of that can you take forward and be a benefit to a subsequent year versus, it's a brand new year and obviously a lot of new faces. You talked about some of the young guys.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference, I've told several people, I think that just in general the biggest difference in our team this year compared to last year is I felt like our depth last year was older. We had seniors that could step in. We had injuries last year, especially going into that first round game at Sam Houston. We had a number of significant guys that couldn't play, and we had seniors that were able to step in. We're not to that point. Right now we got some sophomores. Our 5 receivers that we kind of rotated in with the varsity were the same 5 that played in the JV portion of the scrimmage. And we're trying to get them as much reps as possible because we're going to rely on them. But we need to get them to the point to where we can make another run like that and we can rely on them and they're not going to make mistakes when it counts, when your season's on the line.